Some speakers influence their audience to the extent of making them do things that you otherwise will not do, such as giving up their worldly possessions.
Donate to the Church of City House.
Spend time with sick and dying.
Like Mother Teresa.
Or even to resign the jobs and go save the forest, save the world, save the whales, sorry. Yeah. No. Really because, you know, Mr. Very Young, he's a very distinguished Toastmaster. He's a professional speaker and trainer in Malaysia, Singapore, Thailand, and the Philippines for many years. He was the top salesperson in AIA and he had many years of success in training, coaching, and giving effective feedback to his team of financial advisors so that they were so successful. So let us invite him to give a 30-minute speech. So 20 minutes green card, 25 minutes yellow card, and 30 minutes red card. Let's put your hand and welcome Mr. Fernando.
Is this right now?
Yeah. Yes.
Good evening.
Evening.
I just found a protege and this one is the one.
Thank
Everything
you.
told me about insurance matters.
Oh.
Thank you.
I need retention now, you need prudential, call him. You need Crayston, call him.
Thank you for
You
that.
don't need
It's my
any insurance for me. Right. I'm given this topic by Mr. K to do inspirational speeches. This is what I will share with you, some of the personal things. Right? How to inspire the audience. Now, of all the speeches, this is the most difficult speech to make. Because you can do motivational, speak to inform, you can tell story, persuasive and so forth. But to inspire the audience is a different matter. It really needs a lot of practice and skill. Right? Because at the end of your speech, if you do not inspire the audience, none of them will do whatever you want to tell them to do. They won't go to forest bathing, they won't have a friend, or whatsoever. Come quick. But let's give her a round of applause for the cake. The cake is so delicious, I'm going to bring it to see my mother tonight. So when you're standing here, delivering whatever speech, try to make some funny humor so that the people will fall asleep. You know what I mean? You will fall asleep. And please don't put your hand like that because it's how to inspire the audience. What is an inspirational speech? Anybody can help me? What is an inspirational speech?
that will move the audience.
Okay, let me put this question in context. What is the difference between motivational and inspirational?
Motivation is from external, inspiration is from internal.
Good try. Good. And also, motivational, suppose you love to bake cake, right? And for a long time you want to bake the cake. You stop baking cake, right? We motivate you and you start baking the cake. That means you are doing something that you know how to do but you don't do it. Okay? Inspirational is different. You do not know how to bake the cake at all. After we spoke to you, you start to learn to bake the cake and you bake the cake. That means inspiration is difficult. Because you are not doing something that you know, you want to learn and you do. Motivational is already know what you want to do. That's the difference, alright? Slight difference. Why did the audience need to be inspired? Why? You can take part in questions. I'm not looking for the right answer, I'm looking for people who will take part and try to answer. For Kit Kat, Fortunately, no Kit Kat. But I tell you what, you answer the most questions, you can bring one of the girls home, right? They will follow you home after the boss step to me. That's about the okay. Why did the audience need to be inspired? Think.
To move beyond their boundary.
Wow.
To break through.
Okay, whatever you say is the right answer. There's no wrong answer here. We know you give the wrong answer because that's your perception. Alright? So the audience need to be inspired because When they listen to the speech, they're fully charged, they're excited, they will follow you, they will do whatever you tell them to do. That's inspirational, and that's very difficult to do. Because if I inspire you, all of you, to follow me home tonight, I don't think anyone will follow, right?
Depends.
Oh, not you. The opening of the speech is you tell the audience what you want to inspire. Do not tell a long story first, then later you say, I'm going to tell you to do something, like save money, to work hard or something like that. In the beginning, when you're sitting here, today I'm going to inspire all of you to work hard. So everybody will be expecting what you're going to say, right? So at the offset, when you're standing here, tell them what you want to inspire. That would be the easiest way, simplest way, and the most effective way, right? What you want to inspire. Now, all these are topics that you can inspire. You can inspire them to be teachable, to students, to focus. All these can be small titles, but very effective. So there are many topics you can inspire. One of these also, I call this as keys to success, but you can use this as headings to inspire. Do you have anything here? Do you see one is in black? Do you know why?
That's very hard.
Alright, I put black here because I want to talk about hard work. I'm going to inspire you to work hard. And I think working hard is very important, especially when you're young and you're healthy. Right? So working hard is a good subject to talk about. You can talk about plans, you can talk about optimism, discipline, and so forth. Now, people always think that, I must be very perfect before I can inspire. That's not the truth. The easiest way to inspire is to tell people your problems to be up there. Okay? How you deal with your imperfections, because everybody has got imperfections. Okay? You must tell people how imperfect you are from the beginning, and after you have this journey, you become perfect. You're on top. Not really perfect, but you're on top somewhere. Right? So this is one thing that everybody can do, right? All of you got imperfections? Yes. Yeah. So use that as the base of your speech. From there you build up to the level you want. Easy enough?
Yeah.
If you know this way, that's the easiest way. Taking pictures? Thank you. It's $5 here.
I paid at the entrance already.
$5 includes taking pictures. Great. Good. This is one thing I need you to remember, right? Talk about imperfections. Now I'm going to share with you my story about working hard. As a insurance agent, now we call financial consultants or whatever, right? I had no experience at all in selling, the truth. Never sold before. And I had no knowledge about the product. And yet when I came into the workforce, I became the top salesman in cases in my first 3 months. I mean, Richard Day is in AIA, he knows about my story. So I cannot bullshit you, he's here to verify. I was suddenly from nobody become somebody. Only surely because I just work hard, that's all. Everyday work, morning, 5, 6 o'clock in the morning until 10, 11 o'clock in the night. 7 days a week. Chinese New Year, 15 days I work. Christmas I work. I mean, I work every day. That is because of my passion to be successful. And that is really hard work. To think back, I wouldn't dare to work like that. It's like no life. But there's no choice because in the beginning, you need to be successful. And that's where I have to spend a lot of time. Because the more you work, what happens? The more you learn. It's not the earning. The more you work, the more you learn. And the more cases you present, you get more experience, right? So this is the main thing about working. When you are a newbie, you have no experience whatsoever, and people tell me you cannot sell insurance, I say because you are not working enough. You're going to work many hours, then the cases will come in. So in my first 3 months, in my first month I closed 32 cases. In my second month, 3 cases. So I had 60 cases in 2 months. 80% of the insurance agents do not close even 50 cases in 1 whole year. And I did 60 in 2 months. So that was something, to me, something great. But at that time, I was not looking for greatness. I just want to work and work and work. That was not in my mind. And my leader said, can you close 40 in the 3rd month? I said, for what? He said, I didn't become the first marathon man We call it, when you hit 100 cases, you're called a marathon man. And then you get to get your picture put in the front page of the magazine. And this was the front page of the AI magazine. And I put me there. I never run in my life. Never run. But they put me there to just to add. So because of that, they put this in the front page and my story was inside. That's how it works. Now, when you introduce a topic like that to the audience, when you do a presentation on example work, do not just say work, put the word there. You make the presentation much more interesting, like making something like that, work, and you put music there. Suddenly everybody will wake up and they'll focus on what you do talk, right? This is called attention grabbing. The most important part in the opening is you must grab your audience's attention. If you do not get their attention, they are not going to follow your talk anyway. So you grab their attention, talk about work, and then you talk about how you work, your work habits and so forth, right? Now, how you want to construct your body, the how is to construct your body. The body of the speech, did someone talk about body of the speech? Okay, the body of any speech, 5 to 7 minutes especially, is only 3 main points. 3 points. Do not put 5, 6, 7 points. Nobody can remember. I don't know why they say it's a research they have done. So every speech, the body must have 3 points. How many points?
3 points.
3 points, yeah? Remember that 3 points. More than 3 points is no good already. So body of speech is always 3 points. Number 1, the problem with not working hard. You start with the problem. That's the number 1 point. You have to start with the negative. Right? When you talk about working hard, first one, the point is why people do not want to work hard. A lot of influences, bad influence, not time, you don't plan, things like that, right? So you must tell stories to the audience, the problems, the suffering and pain, if you do not work hard. You know, I learned this from who? Mr. Gay. He's my trainer here. I learned a lot from him here. Okay? Now, always remember that any problem that is unsolved will be implications. That means the problem will grow bigger and bigger and bigger. You know what's implication? So suppose your car has a 40 battery. That's the problem. If you do not change that battery, what happens? If you do not change that 40 battery, what happens to the car? Right? What happens to the car? Do not change your 40 battery. Huh?
They bring down here.
Okay. This is not only dead, you know. Implication is much more than dead. Because once a car breaks down in the highway, you cause traffic jam, you're going to miss your appointment, you're going to lose your skill, you know, it's a lot more things. It's not just
Your boyfriend will desert you lah.
you never have to worry about boyfriend discipline. It's always me. That's not really. So you must always remember that if the problem is not solved, this implication and equation is a lot more. The losses will be a lot more. So therefore, every problem, no matter how small, you've got to solve it. So in this part, the first point in your body of the speech, you must talk about this problem first, with the implication. Okay? But if you're not working hard, what about implication? It's not just you're not earning money, you know. Because you don't earn money, you can't pay your bills, the children will suffer, and a lot of other things, right? So that is implication. You need to talk about this, address this in the beginning, the first point. And number 2, after you address, what's the second point? Okay? The point you have to present facts and all this. It's not just giving figures. You need to do research. You put the source of research and all that. When you are presenting, so that people will believe. It's not something you create out of the air. You have to give statistics figures. When was a research done, by who and so forth, creditable. You should put on stage. You have finished this, number 1, the problem. So your number 2 point is the solution. Now you have to give them a solution. How to work hard. How? That means give up what? Give up your mahjong sets, going to give up your karaoke, whatsoever. Because I did a very big sacrifice in my life, and now I recall, because I give up everything. Before I joined life insurance, I was an order taker. That means I wait for the phone to ring, somebody call me, can I have a band to the Shangri-La and whatever. I was providing bands, right? And they always call me, I send the band. That's what I did. I was an order taker, just send the band when they want. Now, the solution is this. You have to tell them if to do well, right? So what do you need to do? You must give up everything. I was a mahjong addict. You know what's a mahjong addict?
Yes.
I must play mahjong every day.
That's too much.
5-6 hours a day playing mahjong only. And I have lined up all my kaki, you know. Today Monday is still 4, tomorrow Tuesday. I line up for the whole week. And that was the addict. But the moment I joined AIA, 11th of January, all my fingers were cut. Literally cut. Until now, 30 years later, I have not seen a mahjong set. I don't even touch it. That's a sacrifice you have to make. You have to fight against the thing that will not help you in your production. That's a big sacrifice. You need to focus again. When people call you, can you go to karaoke? No, I'm not free. Can you do this? No. Anything that's not connected with production, forget it. So I always tell this story on stage to many, many people because most of the insurance people, they do not do well, it's only for one thing. They are not focused. They are easily distracted, they do not plan, you know what I mean? They do not spend enough time with their clients, how to build their business and so forth. So, in order for you to succeed in a business or in a job, this is the sacrifice to make. The first thing is a sacrifice. Because when you know nothing, you have to sacrifice. That's about it. A lot of sacrifice to get you there. And I did that. The solution. What's the solution? Is tell your proposal to them what you should need to do. Second, explain how it works. Okay. This will be the number 2 point of your inspirational speech. This will be 2 point. Any question? Any question? Do we have the slide? No problem. That's exactly. I leave my slides here, so you all bring a thumb down and reserve it. Explain how it works. This is what we want to know. The how part is very important in any seminar. The speaker must always talk about how, not the what. Everybody knows that what you need to do, right? How to do it. That part, people come to the seminar to learn the how. So this is the part you need to tackle very, very well. How? How this, how this, how this. Okay? How? Question? No. No question class. Why you so serious?
Inspired.
Inspired or expired? Alright? Solution. Number 3 is the benefit. Now, if I take the advice, what will be the benefit? This is also an important part of the speech because if there's nothing for me, why should I follow? Right? So what's in it for me is the benefits. What do you put there? Tell stories again. Now stories are very, very important part of any delivery. Especially your own story. Your own story, not the story borrowed from anybody, your own story. That will be your personalized speech. Because nobody can do the same. Okay, your story is your story, my story is my story, yours is your story, so nobody can copy it. So you do talk about your story. How wonderful life will be if you follow me and what's blah 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 blah. So basically, these are the 3 main points in your speech to inspire people. And to conclude, now every speech, you know, just now Vincent was talking about opening, the body, and the conclusion. No matter whether it's a 1-minute speech or 1 hour speech, you still need to conclude. That means you summarize the whole thing. So you need to conclude, and conclude is consequences of not working hard. This is what you talk about in the beginning, right? Then solutions to work hard, benefits of working hard. So the conclusion will have to include all these 3 again. Run through, just short mention. Remember conclusion, all the 3, opening, body, then you conclude. These are the easiest structure for your speech. Now, and you also get the audience to participate, right? I want all of you to read this, please. 1, 2, 3.
Work is man's greatest function. He is nothing, achieves nothing, fulfills nothing without working.
So in your conclusion, you put something like this on the screen and get everybody to read. That means they are reading, they are recalling again. Why working is important.
So the Nazi concentration camp got right?
Again?
The Nazi concentration camp got right, this one.
Is that right? Oh, you're Nazi.
Well, something similar.
Something like okay. So you need to have a slide for the audience to remember or to take home. And this will be a good message for the audience to take home. Because without working, you are nothing, achieve nothing in school. This is the message. Okay? Any questions? How many this class no question?
Set us thinking.
Right. When you are doing a delivery or sharing, do not go fast, pop, 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 pop. Okay? You need to pause, let them look at this, let them sink in the message. Okay? Even like 2, 3, 5, 6, 7, 10 seconds, let them sink in, and then you carry on. The pause part in any speech is very important. You can ask, sometimes they ask, have you taken your lunch? I think I take already. Ask the answer on this. There are many times you just do that. So then when you ask a question, you must let them sink in. This is delivery style. This is maybe difficult for you in the beginning, but after doing some time, it should be okay. Okay? Delivering the speech, what do you need? It's not just delivering, you know. You need strong vocal variety, like what Vincent said just now. You need variety. Variety, why? Because if you have monotone, people will sleep. Definitely. You go soft, go loud, then ha. Okay, that's vocal variety. You need vocal variety. Okay, fast and slow, pauses, all these are under vocal variety. You also need body language. Body language is eye contact, hand gestures. Okay, I flew to London. It's not that I flew to London. Nothing happens, right? So eye contact is very important. Hand gestures, movements. Now, it is not advisable for you to do a speech just by walking. Some people just keep walking up, walking down, and keep on walking. It's very distracting. Never do that. You just stand here one point, you speak. You need to change the second point, then you just do probably 2 steps, you speak. Then conclusion. So people know that you are changing. But try not to stand in front of the stage, because for this you have no choice. This is low, you can't stand here. But if you have a big stage, the HB is all well above the head, right? The screen is well above the head. You can even go under because you won't block. The main thing is not to block. And also you notice that my slides, when Patricia saw my slides, she said, this one is your style because I like to use big words. Who use very small words? I think you're right.
Yeah.
So small.
Learning.
Especially you have the girl lying down, enlarge the girl. I was trying to see the part of the girl. Enlarge it.
How large is the point size?
It depends on the number of words. Sometimes I use 60, even 70.
Wow.
I use very big. Because you have whole page, why you want to use a little bit of your... You know some people have the whole page, but they use only a little bit, a small part of it. Why? Until now I cannot understand. Even professional speakers, they also use very small words. I don't know why. Because I'm used to...
Sometimes I think it's for the art of it. The art of it.
Okay.
You're leaving some space and putting something not too big. It's for the art of
Okay,
it.
for that, if you don't put it's nothing.
Yeah.
It's nothing.
Yeah.
Because I'm not used to speaking to crowds like that, frankly speaking. I'm never used to it. Only during those classes I have to practice to. I usually speak to 2,000 to 3,000 people. The big stage is very easy. That kind of speech is very easy to do because you have monitors, TV monitors, intervals. You can stay here. You never have to look back. You look at the monitors, it's all there. 20 minutes, okay. So, effective body language. The body language must not be exaggerated, but you got to be in line before you speak, and then keep the audience engaged. How to keep the audience engaged is you have to ask questions. how many of you this? Some of you did very well just now. How many of you this? Put up a hand and all that. Good. Then you ask questions and ask them any questions. Let them ask you questions. That's called engagement. It has to be two-way. If you do not engage your audience, you stand here, you speak and speak and speak. Nobody knows what you're talking about. Then you speak here. They speak among themselves. Right? A small group of that is easy because who speak to who, interrupting you can see. But in the big stage, you cannot see. Few thousand people you cannot see inside, so you don't know what you're doing. So, okay, I acknowledge your green already. Then yellow, you put up your hand, must be tired. Yeah? All the way.
Leaning my hand against the wall.
Especially for you.
Why you show your strength? Give it to me. Let me hold it. Okay, keep the audience engaged. Remember that, huh? Delivery, these are the very important things. Vocal, body language, and one more thing. Visuals. Now, visuals were very, very helpful for you to enhance your speech, to complement your speech. But do not let too many slides drown your speech. You get it? Sometimes they have about 20 slides, picture after picture after picture after picture.
So for 7 minutes, what is the optimum number of slides?
If you ask me personally, 3.
Only 3.
You know why? Because the body 3 points, right? You can use 1 for each. Or you can use 1 for the opening, 1 for the body, and 1 for the conclusion.
Then Lawrence did it right. He only had 3 slides.
Yeah.
And I did it for him. He was giving me so many slides. I said, you cut to 3. I said, you cut to 3.
You cannot like that.
No,
unfair.
Don't use too much. Just 3.
Because it's single handicap.
You must know who to work with.
Try to use visuals. The best visuals are PowerPoints because you can show to 5,000 people, no problem, because there are many screens, right? But you can also use objects, you want to talk about this, you can use this, okay, show this. In a small room, you can show this, this is an object, you can use this as sample, okay. So, I would rather encourage you to use this in every meeting here because you must know how to use this clicker. This is important, very important for delivery. You must know where to press for the laser, and where to press to change, and where to press to blank it. So you must know how to use this. Every time you practice this one, you buy one is $50 from the shop. You order online is like $30 online. This is R400, the model of Logitech R400. But if you're doing on the big stage, you cannot use 400. You must use R800 because it will shoot for 100 meters.
Wow.
Right? This one for this volume is okay.
This laser is illegal.
No, the big one is green. You see the color is red, right? What's the difference between red laser and green? You must know the difference. Red laser, you can point this. The green laser, you can point this. Plus, you can point the TV. Suppose you use a TV as a screen.
Yeah.
The red one will not go through.
Yes.
You got to that. Yeah. If there's a TV here, you put red, you can't go through. It will not work. You need a green one to go through, right, sir?
Green one can see the beam also.
No, no.
Oh, I thought green one is for the Hong Kong demonstration.
Alright. So, AJ, okay, now question officially. Officially, yes.
The benefits, tell stories as well as best if we could personalize it.
Yeah.
But then, comparing to other, I would say myself, the younger generation.
The old generation, the one who changed
In
man.
the sense that we don't have a lot of experience to share with, we don't really have a lot of stories.
Good.
Yeah, then that will be a main challenge.
This is a beautiful question. Beautiful question. You can always borrow the experience. You can borrow somebody's story.
Yes.
And you always can borrow.
Yes. But then one thing is when you borrow a story and then when the audience actually asks further details and then you cannot answer them because you don't know the full story, you don't experience that.
No, that story you tell is to support that point only. Okay? You're supporting a story with that point. Because every point
Can you make up stories?
can.
You make up
You
your
can
own
even
story.
make the stories. You can also tell fairy tales. You know fairy tales? People like fairy tales, right? The girl kisses the frog and then becomes a prince.
So in my life, I'm actually a professional consulting business, so I cannot make stories. I need to tell facts and like real life events.
You tell stories about what happened to your grandfather.
In presentation, you can tell stories. A lot of people use stories to enhance, right? As a profession, of course, you need to do research there. If you don't have the facts and all that, you need to
Research.
do research.
Facts we have lah, facts like all the researchers, all the numbers, yes, but it's facts very dry, boring. So one part is facts and one part is the stories where you relate the facts to real life application.
Do you know that there are no boring titles? There are always have boring speeches. You give a title like My Best Friend, right? Look at that, so boring. But you can make the speech very, very interesting, you know? Right? You know what I mean? And in telling stories, you never have to tell the whole truth. Frankly speaking, you need to tell the whole truth. You add salt and pepper and all that, make it very spicy and all that. Yes, do you want to ask a question?
No, I mean, in terms of stories, even though you don't have you yourself as first hand, but if it's your friend's story, it's still in some way personal. You know, it's your grandfather's story, your uncle's story, it's still through you, right? But if it's you read from somewhere, then of course it's a bit less personal. Then that will stand as well.
If you read a story from somewhere, you must quote. Okay, I got this story from this book, like who and who, you know, like especially there's some stories about yesterday. I don't know especially. Alright, you must quote, you know, when you borrow somebody's material, you must quote, alright? Okay, now I want you to read this again. 1, 2, 3, read it. Today
you do things people will not do. Tomorrow you will do things people cannot do.
This is my favorite quote for everybody. Alright, I think my record is up. Thank you very much.